I think the missing element here that we're not really talking about is the chronology of the influencer. If you look at Grant Cardone, there was a period of time about 5 years ago, he was saying, if you're looking at apartments and it doesn't have at least 16 units, don't waste my time. About 3 years ago, it became, if you're looking at apartments and it doesn't have 32 units, don't look at it, don't waste my time. Forgetting he started with a single family house. Mm-hmm. Brandon Turner saying rentals don't work is forgetting he started with Aberdeen, Washington. I mean, this is literally what the Apache called the boondocks. It's the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around it. Buys a fourplex for his daughter on a 15-year note. So he gets the cash flow. When his daughter's about to turn 18, he can refinance out, give her a chunk of change to invest or college or whatever, and he maintains the asset. Like his lessons that he's had that involved rentals don't impact what he's doing now. So it's that influencer growth where I think what we focus on is that new investor. It's one rental at a time. It's right out of your book. Get to 4. We're talking about get to 4, not to 400.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's not bad, but it's when somebody starts making more money from what they're doing on YouTube than what they're teaching how to do. It becomes challenging to find the person who's still going to focus. Right. Here's a good example. Graham Stephan starts off as a real estate agent, gets a bunch of rentals, reaches financial freedom. Then his YouTube blows up. Most of his content now is to get views. It's reacting to millennial money videos and stuff. But about 1 in 20 videos, it's fundamentals, the real basics. Here's how credit card, here's how your credit score works. Here's how one rental can do. So he still has that going on. I think we're losing that with some of the influencers that get so big they get into syndications.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
Matt, any thoughts on all that?
I mean, I think that it's going to be tough to deploy, 100 million in small businesses. It's going to be tough to deploy that. So I'm a small business guy.
Do you think it's harder? Well, here's the question. And again, this is my opinion. He's looking at multifamily. He's looking at, he likes trailer parks, I think. And he's like, that's really hard today. And maybe he's like, hey, this next new shiny maybe he's suffering the shiny object syndrome. And he's like, hey, Cody Sanchez lighting the world on fire. He's a huge influencer. He probably has met Cody. I think he interviewed Cody actually on his podcast, so they know each other. Maybe he's suffering a little shiny object syndrome. I don't know.
I mean, I think that, what she does an amazing job at is making it seem like all any business needs is a great operator. There's plenty of businesses out there that no matter how great the operator is, they're stupid, like buggy whips. Okay. Like there's plenty of buggy whip businesses now today. There's many fewer now than there were 100 years ago. But the idea is that there are plenty of bad businesses out there. And it does kind of a little bit start with what the asset is. Right. However, that's not to be said that plenty of small businesses go out of business because they have bad operators. But kitten mittens is a bad idea. It doesn't matter who runs it. Right. So I think the idea with, it's interesting because when you're poor, the biggest challenge is money. And when you're rich, the biggest challenge is the next idea for that money. That's always the issue. And so, I've been an entrepreneur. I was you name it, baseball cards, mowing lawns, snow shoveling, whatever it took. I found a way to create a business around it and make money from it. That's what I do. And so for me, in looking at real estate, that's what I did. That's what I picked. It's the best path for me. It's one I'll continue to expand on, but I still look at other businesses all the time. I own some of them. And, with being a great operator, yeah, it'll be more successful than other operators, but that doesn't mean it's worth my time. Yeah. Like it's hard to find a business to put 100 million or even 10 businesses to put 10 million bucks into that you can then put that 10 million bucks and you can turn it into 50, even in 10 years. You can do that with real estate in a 10 or 20 year period. You can't do that with many other assets. You just can't. So that's where I think the challenge is going to become is I like boring businesses as well. So I'm all about that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does because there's a lot of trailer parks are cool. I just turned one down. And it was massive. It was something I could get the funding for and the whole 9 yards. And I was just like, it doesn't give me the feels. I don't feel it with this thing, but yeah, so this is where we're looking at asset inflation taking over because there's so many wealthy people out there with a ton of money still on the sidelines, and they're not feeling it with the stock market anymore. And
Yeah, I
they bought
think
as much Bitcoin as they want.